Yeah, love it. And this welcome hand I have still here, which is waving to everybody from New Zealand and Norway. And yeah, now we are jumping into the show. Yes, welcome, my beautiful audience, to another story, another amazing episode. Diversity is the game changer. And the beautiful guest we have now, he is the game changer. I assure you that through this book, it's not just promotion, it's not like, but really it's amazing book which I'm diving and returning more and more every single day. So I really strongly advise to absolutely everybody. It's called Habits of High Performance. And actually, I think it's for absolutely everybody, because we know our startup, the greatest one is our life, and we are always CEO of our life. So we already high performers every single day, right? Especially we're living this challenging era under so much pressure and uncertainties. We have to be high performers just to navigate our lives. So this book is ultimate Bible for everybody. But to find who actually is behind this masterpiece, I would like to make intro. First of all, James, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here. Cannot wait to chat to you and talk about the book and hopefully add some value to your amazing listeners.
Oh, absolutely not. Hopefully, and actually, I was so excited to host it. That usually before I'm actually double checking the second name, but I try to encourage my audience that we don't have to be like perfectionist, and everything should be like really pre-scheduled, pre-polished. So actually, I forgot to ask you that I can do it just right now. That we can be authentic 100%. That this is just conversation with the flow. And I know that my second name also so difficult. People try to ask me in advance, but they still cannot pronounce. So James, of course, but you say it like Loglin. Is it correct?
You're on to it. Yeah. So Laughlin is my last name. Americans would say Laughlin and some say Laughlin, but I pronounce it Laughlin. But any
Ah,
which way
okay.
you
So
want.
amazing, because yes, I know my name. Oh my God, it was also all possible versions. But so welcome to the podcast where we explore the power of human differences, diverse thinking, inclusive leadership, and also neurodiversity. This is catalyst, I believe, for innovation, resilience, sustainable success. And today I'm honored to welcome an extraordinary guest whose life and work challenge really conventional leadership thinking and redefine what high performance truly means. He is James. It's about you. He's seven-time world champion. It's actually my favorite number seven. Executive coach, international keynote speaker, the author of one best-selling book, Habits of High Performers. For nearly a decade, I think he has worked with CEOs, founders, governmental leaders, military organization, elite athletes, executive team across 6 continents, helping them move beyond stress, overwhelm, reactive leadership to become what you call possibilitarian thinkers. You're also the host of award-winning podcast, Habits of High Performance, where you interview all these gems, right? And your mission is simple but transformational, to help leaders stop being the bottleneck and become possibilitarian thinkers. I would like really to find out what it is, who can really unlock sustained high performance under constant change. So welcome to the show again. And
Thank
before
you.
we actually start discussing all these big names, big people, big impacts, what you are doing through your amazing work and a book, I would like to jump a little bit backwards, because we know all the big trees, which we can see today, the beautiful, one day it was seeds, right? And everything and everybody has their own roots. So I would like to go a little bit backwards to the childhood of James. And could you tell us how exactly your childhood impacted the life and work and all this accomplishment, and oh my God, 7 times award winning processes? So tell us, just absolutely free, like maybe it was special people who inspired you, or maybe special it, I don't know, pivotal moments. So it just, but I do believe childhood really has so much impact on our life, like DNA of childhood so important. So now it's your turn to take us to the kingdom of little James. Thank you.
I love that. I love how you positioned that as well. It's beautiful. So I grew
Mhm.
up in Northern Ireland, a really beautiful part of the world. Uh, just a very laid back place. However, separation between religions. So you had Protestants and Catholics, and there was a
Mhm.
lot of trouble. So they called it the Troubles. It was essentially a war zone. And so growing up, I witnessed lots of fighting, petrol bombs, bombing, bomb scares. Like it was a war. And for a young guy, I wanted to try and get away from that. And I was always looking for my ticket to get out of Northern Ireland. And even though I loved the place and loved my family, I just felt like I wanted to see the world and get away from this conflict. So I started drumming at a very young age at school.
Mhm.
And my headmaster, he gave me a set of drumsticks. Instead of punishment, he said, take the drumsticks and let's see what you can do. And so I started drumming and realized I liked it. And by the age of 13, I won my first world championship. And then I won another one at 14. And that's where my whole world changed. And I started to travel and see what other parts of the world were like. So that's really that informed my thinking, work hard, be disciplined, have goals, work on your mindset. Started doing that from a very young age.
Wow, I can just imagine that. First of all, thank you so much for sharing your story, and I can relate so much to the war and tickets, like you are brilliantly mentioning now, because I'm proud Ukrainian, and you know
Mhm.
what's going on in my country now, and exactly in my city, Kherson, it's the border to Crimea. It's where the war broke out, and at that time, luckily, me and my kids we were safe here in Norway, but my parents they were there, so and. I was I'm sorry, waiting for their tickets to escape, and the refugees now staying with me. I'm blessed by that, but I can just imagine for you as a young guy how it really impact your life. And I'm so happy that actually that you got this sticks, right? It's like
Mhm.
magic sticks from your headmaster, and nothing is coincidence, everything is destiny, but not just it's hard job and discipline, exactly what you have mentioned, and you're
Mhm.
also talking about a lot about discipline in your book, and I love how much you're talking about. Really, this is the biggest, I don't know, secret of all high performers. Really, it's like they set the goals, which you already have mentioned, and they walk backwards. It's like you call it like engineering. It's actually
Mhm.
everybody believes, wow, it should be some kind of magic, but no, it's just actually those small discipline steps, right? That you do in every single day. It can of course sounds very boring, but it is the key of everything. So yes, thank you for sharing your story. And then can you take us further a little bit that wow, and even at that young age, you became already like cultural explorer, right? And I'm sure a lifelong learner. And
Mhm.
from that moment, how your life became really changing, and how you understood that at some point, maybe what has been given for you, you can also take this sticks and give to other people to change their lives. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I guess in my mid-teens, I had a very fortunate phone call come in from New Zealand, 12,000 miles from Ireland. And it was an opportunity to come and help some New Zealanders become the very first world champions. Nobody
Mhm.
had ever won it from New Zealand. So I thought, this is awesome. I'll head down south, almost to Antarctica, and help this team. It took 8 years. They did become the first ever world champions from New Zealand. And I started realizing that there's like a recipe to success. And it's not my recipe. It's just like worldwide, anybody doing these same things can achieve greatness. So I thought, I've been drumming for 20 plus years. Could I do this with athletes? Could I do this with armies, politicians, business people, everyday people? And so I stopped drumming and started working with business leaders, athletes, country leaders, and started seeing, wow, they get great results following the same recipe. And so I've always been driven to try and help others. But I guess there's a selfishness to it as well. Like, I feel like I've got so much to learn. And I feel like my bookshelf, this is one of my bookshelves here, I just constantly read. And I think that reading is the greatest gift we can give ourselves. And so I'm always learning, asking what I can do to help others or be better. And I just love working with people and helping them fulfill their dreams.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, this is so true. And I love how you position it. It's the best gift we can give to ourselves. It's true. And especially, I think, in this challenging time now where we have so much information, it's totally cognitive overload, multitasking, social media. What I'm finding really like grounding, it's kind of my meditation to really be like, embodied with book in togetherness. I don't read now on screen because for me it's immediately so overwhelming. Like I even can feel it on my body. Like okay, again, time on the with the screen again. Like I don't know, but when I'm taking this, like it's my treat for the
Mhm.
evening before I go to my meditation with gratitude. Like yesterday, and like oh now my treat. Now I'm with James, and actually I do believe that books like these, it's a body, right? But they have souls. For me,
Mhm.
they have souls. So for me, they are talking to me like live creatures, like so I can smell, I can touch, like so I think it's so important that we need actually to teach our kids, which all the time just like that no, reading a book is really treasure. We
I
kind of
agree.
have lost this magic, right? Because for me, I made in Soviet, oh my god, to get a book, we have not possibility to own the books. When we went to school, we could just borrow them and put them in special wrapper. Oh my god, you should be so careful because
Yeah.
you have to deliver back to school and library, and it should be almost the same that the many years can be used, and you cannot write or anything. They are holy. So
Yeah.
yeah, so thank you so much, first of all, my beautiful audience. I got this gift. I'm so honored. Yes, like I said, it's already for me and soul and body in this book. And if we are talking, actually, yes, you're walking us here through this. I love it. Get radical clear, supercharge your belief system. Like seven, you call it even seven. Yeah, this holy truth that you actually present in here. It's also because you're 7 times world champion. You have this seven greatest truth. And in my language, seven and like семья, it's family, да? Семь, it's seven, yeah. It's seven of me, it's family. It's also a very sacred
Hmm.
number. Mm-hmm.
That's
It's true.
interesting. I
And
like that.
yeah, and like a week have 7 days, right? So it's amazing that everything is sacred. But if from all of actually what you have learned, and you also brilliantly giving us here and your life experience, we can elevate and spice a little bit with diversity of thoughts, and not just like checkbox like now DEI, what people are, yeah, talking about or against it, especially in US. But for me, the most important, diversity is the game changer in the name of my podcast. And here I'm talking about diversity of minds, right? Diversity of thoughts, our uniqueness, our cognitive uniqueness.
Mhm.
If you could tell all your truths, and you can pick up one of seven or all of seven, it's also like up to you, and go through the lens of diversity of thoughts, how important for us actually still to remember that we are so unique, how we can embrace it and not be afraid in this particular special challenging time when you know what's going on in the world, that how we can stay authentic when everybody try to, like social media and everything, try to really ask to put in the box that we have to be like this or this or this. For me, it's very important to know, to fight.
I just lost you for a slight second there, just where the internet must have cut out. Are you possibly able to, if there was a question there, just ask that question
Yeah,
again,
okay.
please?
I know. I also know, that like I'm starting with one question, then I'm talking, and then what actually was the question? I'm like, even me, like, what was the question? Okay, the question is now that we are talking about challenging world now, like a lot of highlighted real social media, they kind of try to put you in the trap that you have to compare yourself. But for me, the most important, I think that it's authenticity and diversity of thoughts, that we
Mm.
are so unique. So, I mean, if you could give advice based from all your experience through the life, how we still can embrace that we are so unique, how we can champion diversity, then diversity of thoughts, of approaches, cognitive diversity. This is my question.
Yeah, great. I love that. Look, I think it's so important. I had a friend, and she was the youngest ever female Muslim to get to sea level. Like, she was the COO of Walmart, and
Mhm.
she's just the most amazing human. And we were chatting about who I was spending time with, who I was learning from, and I discovered really quickly that I was spending a lot of time with people that looked like me, sounded like me, read the same books as me, and I was living in like a bubble, like an echo chamber. And I was so thankful that she'd had this chat with me and made me realize that my diversity of thinking was very limited. This was about a decade ago. And so I started getting around people who thought very differently than me and had different beliefs. And it was just fascinating. And I loved it. And I feel like I'm a richer person because of the diversity of people around me. So I think that's ultimately the key to success, is having people think differently, challenge each other respectfully. And that's where we get uniqueness. And uniqueness doesn't come from Chat GPT. Like, Chat GPT is absolute hot nonsense. And yes, it's valuable in some respects, but the true diversity is in here. We can innovate, we can create, and our brains were not made for remembering. Memory is a thing we can do, but we're not made to remember. We're made to create, and we can only be creative when we've got space. So for me, that's meditation. For me, that's walking in nature. For me, that's spending time away from the internet and Netflix, and that's where I'm the most creative. And I read books from people of different color, different age, different religion, because I want to be challenged. And I enjoy that. And I come out with a whole new perspective of life and work when I read new work.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Genuinely grateful for this one, and I like this. Get radically clear. I like this one, and maybe the most important, not most, all of them, seven, but supercharge your belief system. Let's talk about this a little bit, because I have also made a framework, which is five enablers of sustainable self leadership, and while one of them it's about evaluate. And I think it's very connected to belief system. For me, evaluate, it's actually gaining new knowledge and new patterns, like you said, challenge yourself, especially from people with other perspective. Then you can get so much feedback how you can elevate and grow, especially like, I mean, I'm talking about deep growth, like spiritual growth and everything. And then about your belief system, what I find that I'm talking also working with top executive people, that they're more likely open to gain new knowledge. But I also try to explain them that belief system is so tricky that you should also learn yourself to unlearn old patterns which don't serve you anymore, right? And so it's also about belief system, and you should hope really, you should kind of balance what you can selectively take and consume from new patterns, and also what you have to unlearn. So if you could give like couple of advices about these habits of high performance, what you have been working with so many people, how they really can supercharge their belief system, what they should start from, how they should focus about, yeah, about
Yeah,
this.
brilliant.
Thank you.
So everyone that's listening, they're all full of BS, belief systems, right? We've all got these belief systems, and
Mm-hmm.
they're subconscious. They sit right at the back of the conscious mind, and they really direct our behaviors. What most of us want to do is get the quick fixes, the hacks, the 5 steps to success. That doesn't work unless you've got the right belief system. And so if we look at a psychological model, BAB, so B is belief, A is attitude, and the last B is behavior. Most people go to straight to behavior. How do I get faster, smarter, richer, happier? But what we need to do is go back to the very first B, which is beliefs. What do I need to believe? What beliefs do I need to form in my mind's eye? Those beliefs will shape our attitude. And the
Mm-hmm.
attitude, when we apply it, will impact the behavior. And so forget about the fast hacks. Go back to beliefs. I had a friend called John, and John was 7 years of age. His mother was driven out of Austria by the Nazis. Her
Oh,
entire family were exterminated. And
wow.
she came from a very wealthy family in Austria.
Yeah.
And she came to New Zealand. She was 17 or 18. And she ended up marrying a man, had 3 children, and they were very poor. They had no money here. She left all the wealth. And she left her husband because he was an alcoholic, terrible father. She raised these 3 kids by herself in a state home with not much money. And her little son, John, who's my friend, he said to his mum, sitting at the table, 7 years of age, he says, Mum, I'm going to be a millionaire. And after I'm a millionaire, I believe I'll be the prime minister of this country. And she says, Of course you will, son. You go for it. You can do it. And most people would be like, well, he's very poor, comes from a poor family. There's no way. So John gets very well educated. And he says, James, the only thing people can't take away from you is your education. So keep getting educated. He worked for Merrill Lynch, went to New York, Tokyo, London in foreign exchange. He made tens of millions. He's probably worth
Mhm.
hundreds of millions now. At 42 years of age, John comes back to New Zealand and ends up within a few years becoming the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Now, that's someone who had a belief in himself, and that belief shaped his attitude about learning and about getting better, and it then impacted his behavior. And in the end, he ran the country for 8 years. And to me, we can all take a lesson from John. His name's Sir John Key, and it's very simple. Why are your beliefs for success? Money's the big one that most holds most of us back. Step into believing that you deserve to have money, wealth, prosperity, joy, and that will shape your attitude about money and success, which will then impact your behavior and how you show up. So to me, it's actually way more simple. Identify what's holding you back. I believe money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow
Mhm.
on trees. Or take another one, happiness. I believe happiness is fleeting. I believe happiness is it comes and goes really quickly. Start identifying the things that are negative, and then simply flip the script. Money grows on trees. I've told my little boy's 10 years of age now. I tell him almost every day, money grows on trees. Money is everywhere. And what I mean by that, and he knows this, your mind is the tree. And if you nurture it and water it by learning, you will be valuable to someone. When you add value, you get rewarded. And that's often in the form of money. So your beliefs are up to you to take charge. Nobody else should have a say. The biggest impact of our beliefs is our
Mhm.
phones right now. We spend so much time on our phones. Get off your phones. Stop
Pandemic.
scrolling. It is.
It is pandemic, James. I'm so agree with you. I can see I have adopted 2 kids many years ago from Ukraine, and they are
Wow.
both neurodivergent, and I know how much it affects their brain, and I'm trying to talk to them and give like real example that your brain, oh my god, it's like so cognitive overloaded all the time already of so many choices, so much noise, information. So we're talking very openly about this. They don't understand that I'm explaining them. Can you imagine if you are working out like physically or playing soccer 6 7 hours per day? Can you make it? No. But how do
Mm,
you believe that when your brain is on the screen, it's the same? It's working so hard. How you can
mm.
work like 6 7 hours? Then when I tried to give them this example, compare that, I said, can you imagine how actually tiring it's for your brain because it's working all the time? Oh yes, I said, no, please put away this phone. How do you believe we can encourage or maybe explain without like really forcing them? Because my kids now is turning 17 years old. It's like it's not much you can do by forcing. Okay, you
Yeah.
can be a good role model, right? Because they're copying still what I'm doing, and I'm trying really to have digital detox, walking in nature, everything. But do you have any hacks? How like we can, I don't know, give better influence that they should be less on the screens? Do you have any, I don't know, secrets?
Yeah, I think it's I'm learning too, to be honest, and I think it's all about age appropriateness. As a parent with a 4-year-old, if you let your 4-year-old sit on an iPad for 2 hours while you're at dinner, that's on you. Like that's poor parenting. Now, I'm not saying they should never get iPad access. Like Finn gets access to his iPad when we
Mm-hmm.
travel. So if we're traveling overseas, one of the treats, he gets to bring his iPad with him. And for a little bit of time, like an hour a day, he's allowed to access it. Apart from that, we just don't give him access at home. He's now 10. He can sit on a laptop if he's doing something productive and he's supervised. So he creates music. He's using GarageBand. He's a bit of a DJ. He likes Canva. He designs posters for his own bedroom. We think that's cool and we supervise it very heavily. But as he gets to 14 and 15, it's a whole new challenge because I imagine his friends will have phones. He will want a phone.
Yeah.
I don't want to give him a phone until he's 16. I don't think he needs one. He's under our supervision. We might be pretty uncool, but I'm happy to be uncool as a parent for a few years if it saves his mental health. So I think it's about boundaries and figuring out what your kid needs. Everyone's unique and every parent is unique. So I think just we all know what the right approach is, and hopefully we can all take that right approach.
Yeah, it's true. You can never practice to be your a nice, or I don't know. Last couple of days ago, I was on a show like podcast, and I got the question how to be. I don't know how the best parents that you can never actually be the best parent, and you because you can never practice to be a parent without becoming a parent. And actually, you every single day you're a new parent because you don't know what kind of challenging or any type of situation can occur, right? And you can discover new version of yourself every single day. So that's true for all of us, for parents now. Everything what's happened every single day, we have to navigate and to invent new patterns that we have never had this challenge before. Like I mean, my parents, right? So we're like in this totally new era as well.
I agree.
Yes, I would like to talk a little bit about hope because you also talk about this supercharge your belief, you must believe it if you hope to achieve it. I think hope is a great, great approach to everything in the life, and actually, especially we Ukrainians, now, if we don't practice hope muscle, it is you know what's going on. So, do you have any also like advices to people, especially maybe for my people from my country, because you said that you've experienced when you were a child, how actually still to practice and not to be hopeless, because sometimes it feels really hopeless situation. What's
Yeah.
going
Look, I
on?
think we must continually create hopefulness rather than hopelessness. And it's interesting. My little son Finn, his great grandparents are from the Ukraine, and
Mm,
they emigrated to Canada many, many years ago. And
mm,
so his mom's Canadian, but he has Ukrainian roots, and most of his family do Ukrainian dancing. They paint Ukrainian Easter eggs. Like
mm,
we've got all these heritages. And I had a friend, Roman Schulier from Kiev, and I spoke to him at the very start of the war. And I had him on my podcast actually, and he was a lawyer in Kiev. And we were just chatting about, how are you feeling about your little daughter? She's the same age as my little son. And he said, we will win. We will win this war. And I says, tell me why you feel such conviction. He says, we have so much to fight for. These are our people, our hope for our dreams and our future. And I just believed him. I was like, of course you will. Like I believe it 100%. And hope is everything. You look at the great books like Viktor Frankl, Man's
yeah.
Search for Meaning. Wow. Like Auschwitz. We've got another book here, The Happiest Man on Earth. He was in Auschwitz as well. His name's Eddie Jaku. And those books are all about the fact that as humans, we need to have hope that there's another minute on earth, hope that there's a brighter future, hope that there will be peace. And then we have to cultivate that, and we have to get people around us who talk about hope and moving towards something better. And the performers I work with, whether they're running countries or they're the top athletes, hope that they can achieve greatness, hope that they can make a difference. So I journal
Mm,
every day. I don't know about yourself, but I bring my journal with me everywhere. And
mm,
I have hopes and I have dreams, and they're not yet realized. They're not here, but I like to meditate on those and journal, and it gives me motivation,
mm.
gives me fire to keep going. When there you're right there, good. You got your journal too. I love it.
The same every day. I start from gratitude meditation every morning, and despite what everything is going on in my country or around the world, or what these days bringing me, I always start with prayer and then gratitude meditation. I'm really pushing my why to my wire, no, my brain, and I rewired it to start the day that look, you have so much to hope for and to
Mhm.
be grateful for, right? And I am listing like all the time 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Mhm.
And the same like after the whole long day before I go to sleep, the same. I'm kind of made like internal feedback toward myself, how my day went, everything was going on. But still, despite everything, what is 5 things I can like, pull out of this day? And then of course, I'm journaling a lot about gratitude. Like, I think hope and gratitude, they're like a sister when they are
Yeah,
married together and you practice them. So I think it's a huge one. Yes.
yeah, I'm with you.
Last part I would like us, of course, to talk about because this is my greatest passion now. It's about neurodiversity and neurodivergence because I'm neurodivergent myself. I have OCD, and now I know it's a lot of like overkill almost on social media. Everybody's speaking so much about OCD, ADHD, and I'm happy we are doing this. It's really nice paradigm shift because still in many countries and many cultures that it's taboo, stigma, prejudice. At least we have this tendency to speak more about. But my role in this also to navigate people towards how we can harness and leverage talents, how we can create the lens that it's not weakness, not disability, not just disorder, but it's cognitive uniqueness. And actually, we can really, when people like me understood, supported, and professionally managed, we can thrive and we can do so much great stuff that we don't need to hide over mask over perform and like being in this position that like I've felt many years like guilty, shamed, everything. So my position in my podcast, diversity is the game changer, also to rewire the narrative globally about neurodiversity. What do you think about? You have already brilliantly mentioned that actually the most important is uniqueness of our mind, but how do you
Mhm.
think we can help in togetherness to change the narrative and also to help people like me? We're 20% of people actually with neurodivergence, how we can help us to thrive, not just to we have to be assimilated, tolerated, accepted. I don't like these words at all. Why I should be accepted? Why I'm
Mhm.
not worthy enough?
Yeah, I
Thank you.
think it's really interesting over the last few years. So, Finn's mother got diagnosed with ADHD
Mhm.
about 2 years ago. And then my partner, so his bonus mum, she was just diagnosed with autism and in the last year and a half. And
Mhm.
so for me, I've done a lot of learning, a steep learning curve in the last few years around ADHD, autism, ADHD as well.
Yeah.
And I just think it's something that neurotypical people need to press pause and get curious
Mhm.
because I actually think there's way more neurodiversity and it's just misdiagnosed or non-diagnosed. I think it's probably 40, 50, 60% of the world. There's way
Yeah.
more people with it, but they mask. So many people are masking and we shouldn't have to mask. Pull the mask off and be your full self, but it takes two to tango. So I think that the neurotypical people need to learn and read and listen to great podcasts about neurodiversity so that they can actually be part of the solution and a part of embracing what is normal. It's very normal to be neurodiverse. And we
Mhm.
shouldn't have labels of that's your superpower. That's such a terrible thing to say to someone, this is a superpower. No, this is who you are. And we're going to embrace who you are. Like it's not accepting, it's like you are you and we love you. So most high performers, weirdly, that I interviewed or I've coached are neurodiverse. The
Mhm.
vast majority of them. They tend to excel. They tend to do incredibly well in sport, in entrepreneurship, in leadership,
Mhm.
but it sometimes comes at a cost. Sometimes they're really driven, so they push others away, or other people just don't get them. And
Mhm.
so there's higher risks of burnout. And I think it's important for neurodiverse people to go, hey, can I still get the thing I'm really driven about without burning out? can I get there with thriving relationships
Mhm.
and well-being? And to me, that's the ultimate challenge. Is that possible? And I think it's a bit of a dance, takes time. But to me, high performance is about consistently exceeding norms whilst maintaining healthy relationships and well-being. Not perfect, but healthy.
Amazing. I love that. It's actually very much about the first gem of wisdom you're sharing. It's get radically clear, but to be clear also, it's about this vision, but also then it's about understanding, like really about clarity and understanding. Like, but for being clear, you should be radically curious. Really, it
Mhm.
is true. You know, and I love that you said it's a dance because actually I'm trying to kind of teach or be a role model of this dance and navigating between neurotypical society and me being neurodivergent without now over masking over performance, because I think behind all the innovations mostly there are neurodiverse people, right? And ironically enough, we kind of propel the society, but we don't fit in. We're stuck on the fringe, it's killing us. But I would like to, what I'm doing like more and more through my research and through my podcast and like all this deep conversation to really show us that yes, neurodiversity it's not weakness, mental cognitive uniqueness. It's not disability, it's possibility, it's
Mm.
plausibility, and it's not disorder, it's diff order, just different order.
That's
And
beautiful.
thank you so much. And now I'm launching, I'm in the middle of the launch, your Neuro Edge or your Neuro Edge company with another partner of mine. She has ADHD and autism. Yes, and we are running the programs especially for both for individuals and corporates and academia. How
Wow.
it, yes, holistically approach how you through neuroscience, through like, nutritions, how you can read your energy patterns, embodiment, like belief systems, everything, like 6 weeks courses that can really change. It has already changed me life for people. First of all, how they like actually approach and start looking to themselves, not through the lens of deficit, but lens of strength. So if it just is, I'm not promoting, but because you said your partner and also the mother of your kids. So if you are interested a little bit about this one, we can
Yes.
chat later.
I would love when you're going with that program and launching it, I would love to get you on the podcast to talk about that and talk about how people can apply it. Because
Mhm,
on my podcast, there'll be a lot of listeners who are in the corporate world or high
mhm.
performers. So that would be a great conversation.
Amazing, because okay, it's not about me now. Actually, all of a sudden, like I know God gave us 2 ears, one mouth. And like, Valeria, if it's not your show, don't talk all the time. But I
That's
get
great.
so excited when I meet people like you. Of course, I would like to be active. I would like it to be interactive dance. Like, it's like dialogue, not just monologue. And I'm so happy to share that, like, 2 days ago, I finally got confirmation that after 5 years of long, hard work, I got confirmation that now my PhD is ready to defeat.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
amazing. Thank you so much. And you know why I'm
Well
so
done.
proud? Because I rewrote it so many times because it was almost done, James. I had to defend, but then I got into mental institution for 4 weeks because I had major burnout 2 years ago. And I was so bad that actually I had anxiety, depression, OCD within also intrusive like suicidal tendencies, and now I'm sharing it openly, boldly, honestly on every single show because I want to give people hope that look at me. 3 months before I wasn't Con Festival red carpet, I'm Mrs. All Congeniality, but yes, 2 months later I was in my pajama 4 weeks in mental institution, and I
Wow.
opened my podcast there, which is ironically enough I call Pijcast because I was in my pajama. And
Hmm.
I, since then, I really talk to all. Please, please talk openly about you're not alone. You have belongingness. It's normal. It's okay to not be okay all the time. It
Yeah.
is because brain is the most difficult organ part of our body, and of course after everything what's happened now it get also tired, sick. It's like, and why we should be ashamed of that, right?
A
So okay,
hundred
but
percent.
anyway, so this product I'm talking about now, New Age, actually we won the project with my partner. We are going to Stanford to present it at Neurodiversity Summit in September.
Amazing.
So I just why I'm saying that you know what, because you're so much into this subject now, I had no idea myself, but there is a global neurodiversity summit every year at Stanford, 3 days in September, if you want to get more information. And the professor itself, his son is autistic. That's why
Wow.
it was his initiative. Professor Dr. Lawrence Funk. I know him very well now. So if you also want to be introduced or to get more like involvement information, I can connect you guys as well.
Yes, please. I would love that.
Yeah, and maybe you can also invite him on the podcast, because he's like in charge of everything what's going on about neurodiversity at Stanford. And he's
Wow.
like, and because like it's also connected with his private life and everything. So I think you guys together can make great things together. I
That'd be
love it.
amazing.
This is my jam to connect people. I'm like
I
you to
like it. You're
help
good
people.
at it.
Thank you so much. Oh, okay, I was bragging about me, James.
No, it's great.
Valeria,
I
not
love it.
good. But anyway, it was for the purpose, for my higher mission. Can I ask you, what is your higher mission in the world?
Yeah, so my higher mission, so the way I look at it is I want to help great humans become the greatest. And I believe everyone is great. I don't believe anyone is broken. So I believe I'm on a mission to help millions of people. And
Mhm.
I wanted to help them tap into their greatest. And what is greatest? Well, that's being great on field and off field. So on field at work, career, sport, whatever it is, and off field with the people that matter most. And in the book, I talk about focusing on WMI, what's most important. And
Mhm.
most people focus on the wrong WMI, what's most imminent. The email, the phone call, all the chaos. Just get focused on what's most important. So that's
Mhm.
my larger mission. If I can help millions of people become the greatest version of themselves, I'll be delighted.
Wow, amazing. So then we are so aligned, that's for sure. Uh, my last, but I hope maybe for today, but I'm sure kind of I know, because your mission and my mission, those higher mission, I think that they actually kind of dancing in this interaction. So I'm sure we can do a lot of great stuff and to make ripple impact together. Because even here for me, like I got this tattoo from disciple of Dalai Lama. It's here like nothing happens without the reason. Valeria, never give up. I think all the interactions, like like you and me now, I'm always trying to position as like a student, but also a little bit like a teacher, where like both can
Yeah.
really cross pollinate each other. So it's amazing. Before we are wrapping up, I always joking with my audience, say that, oh, now it's time to invite my vice president, the student. Like, oh, okay. I've never been warned that we are three of us. And then I pull out this one,
Ah,
this beauty, this toffee,
I love it.
sustainable, really. I do believe in magic. I love pink. I love gold. And we started through childhood. And I believe childhood is so much connected with magic and fairy tale. And it's so unfair. Like, in the childhood, we actually teach our kids to believe in magics. And then when we are growing up, we deliberately push ourselves to unlearn the magic, that no,
Mhm.
it's nonsense, right? We don't have to do it. I still believe in magic. So my question is, because in Aladdin's case, she just served him, she could grant like three wishes, but because my wish also like yours, to help as many people as possible, and then I'm like focusing not on quantity but quality. So this one, my vice president, she would like to, of course, grant you a wish. And my last question for today or for this show would be, if you could make a wish for her, it can be whatever you want, like pineapple on your pizza, or like the piece for the whole world, or just totally your wish, which you're channeling just right now. What can be?
Yes. My wish is that every human on this planet can experience love and belonging and be safe. I feel that every human deserves that love, a sense of belonging, and to feel safe. If that was the case, I just think this world would be such a better place. So if I could have one wish and that was it, that's it right there.
Oh, I love it so much, and it's so so important. And okay, she's buzzing. I can see she has so much energy to already start fulfilling your wish, and I'm joining with all my molecules and atoms. So that's for sure. I can, when I'm at your show, I can actually give the report how we are proceeding on this wish.
Please, I would love that.
Amazing, amazing. Oh wow, I'm so inspired and now like feel and I love this my treat for the evening again. So amazing.
Enjoy the book. I hope you enjoy it. And if I make it to Norway, I'll sign it for you.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh my god, I believe when I opened it was with the signature, like, oh, where's my signature? I was like, but then I think that it's always also the reason that okay, maybe this is the meaning behind everything, that one day I will meet you and then you can sign for me and I can sign my book as well for you, that we can also cross pollinate
Done.
in this field. Amazing. Are you
It's a
are you
definite.
planning, like, to go to, because New Zealand, yes, it's a little bit tricky one, but you coming like kind of often to Europe or US? Yeah, your travel.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
deliver a lot of keynote speaking in Southeast Asia, Europe, North America. I've been to Norway a few times when I was younger. I was there in Oslo, but I haven't been in many, many years. So if I make it
Okay,
that
maybe
direction,
it's
I'll definitely let
time.
you know.
Maybe it's, or maybe if I don't know, all of a sudden it's still so much time that you are so much into subject now about neurodiversity. Maybe they will be inviting you to speak at Stanford, because they also have, like, keynote speaking there. Will be presenting my poster, and I don't know if you know, but they also have now neurodiversity summit at Davos every year. It
Yes.
just, yeah, you know that. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yes, incredible. Now we will definitely
Incredible.
cross paths. I have a feeling it's going to
Yes,
happen.
absolutely. I have this feeling. So let's chat after. If you any of this information, what I gave to you, you will be like or any type, because I know a lot about this stuff now. So if anytime you have any questions, so please, I would be more than happy to answer. And
Thank you.
yes, and I'm sure we will meet and hug, because I'm Ukrainian. I'm still undernurtured after hugs after
Yes.
Corona. I do
I
believe
get it.
also that people should, like, feel all five senses when they're together, like you smell and touch and everything.
I 100% agree.
So much tenderness, compassion towards your way and your family and your kids. Thank you so much for participation. And yes, like you said, love, psychological safety and belongingness. Let's vote
Thank
for
you so
that for
much.
everybody.
Yeah,
Bye
fingers
bye for
crossed.
today.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you, James. Bye
See you
bye.
soon. Bye bye.
Bye.